Live from WJHG-TV, this is News Channel 7 at 6.
Good evening, everyone, and happy and safe Labor Day. We are just one day away from the primary election, and tensions in the District 6 State House race are running very high. Dirty campaigning has been a factor in this campaign, adding fuel to an already burning fire. As News Channel 7's Dana Arquilla tells us, one candidate is now planning to sue based on what he calls complete and utter lies.
Here are the latest mailers in the race for the District 6 state representative's race. This one shows Lee Sullivan in different hats: a dunce cap, a court jester's hat, a beanie cap, and a pimp hat. Each picture is accompanied by a negative statement about Sullivan. A second mailer showing Sullivan draped in Mardi Gras beads and a shot of Club La Vila in the background questions Sullivan's family values. The ads are paid for by the Veterans for Truth group, one of the so-called 527 groups. 527s can accept as much money as they want from contributors and are not subject to a lot of the same campaign laws as candidates. The big question is who is behind this 527. One of Sullivan's Republican challengers, Cameron Skinner, has denied any involvement with 527s, even making an issue out of it at a candidates forum 2 weeks ago.
I haven't been approached by any 527s to help my campaign, and I actually wear that as a badge of honor because I feel like they know my character.
Skinner has also denied any links to another 527 called the Florida Freedom Council, which has also run negative ads. That group is run by David Ramba, a Tallahassee attorney and acquaintance of Skinner's. During another forum last week, Skinner tried to link another of the Republican candidates, Jimmy Patronis, to Ramba.
Off here is also the attorney, was an attorney involved in the airport relocation, which Jimmy Patronis spearheaded the relocation project as chairman of the airport authority.
I got a phone call from Mr. Skinner saying, you know, Jimmy, let's tag team this. Let's throw Lee off the ballot. If we don't do it now before the ballots are printed, we're not going to be able to react. I never brought that voicemail up. I never shared it with Lee. I kept my mouth shut. If you want to drag me into this by some crazy innuendo about Dave Ramba representing the airport, you go right ahead. But let's remember, I'll sleep well at night. I do not turn around and try to do some unethical, petty-ante stuff to try to throw people off the ballot when the voters need to decide in the first place.
Not surprisingly, negative ads on Patronis also hit mailboxes last week. This one questions his true commitment to the Republican Party and a conservative platform. But who paid for it? At first glance, it's difficult to see the disclaimer, but if you look at this black section, you can barely see it, written in dark gray ink. Paid for by the Cameron Skinner campaign. That tends to negate Skinner's comment from last week.
I'm not afraid to compare and contrast myself with my opponents, but when I do it, and if I feel like I need to do that, I'll put my name on it, and I'll proudly put my name on it.
Back to the 527s. Cameron Skinner has claimed he has no connections to the negative ads trashing his Republican opponent, Lee Sullivan. But News Channel 7 has uncovered evidence that would point in that direction. 1726 Frankfort Avenue is the business listed as Cameron Skinner's campaign headquarters. Apparently it's Rudolph Engineering and Construction, and as confusing as it may sound, it's also listed as Woodrow Newman's construction company. Now, the Newman's family contributed $20,000 to the Veterans for Truth 527s. It's the same family that's sharing office space with Cameron Skinner's campaign headquarters. Some simple web browsing confirms the connection. This is Skinner's campaign website. Note the address. This is the Florida Division of Elections financial report for the Veterans for Truth organization, with Woodrow Newman's name as a contributor. Here's the telephone listing for Newman's Brothers Construction. Same address as Skinner's campaign headquarters. We called Cameron Skinner today to ask him about the connection. He refused to make time for an interview and refused to comment. His opponent, Lee Sullivan, was not as camera shy. In fact, he had plenty to say about the information we uncovered.
Unfortunately, the boy, Cameron Skinner, is a liar. And he has slandered me, and he has lied about me, and he has done all of those things that he accused me that I was going to do.
What do you see happening from here? You said you got a lawyer. What does that mean?
I've been lied about. have been slandered beyond politics. I have had lies told about me, and I will not accept that. Now, I have kept it out of this race, but someone will stand too for the things that Skinner and his camp have said about me.
With time slipping away before Tuesday's primary vote, some would say campaign ethics are slipping away just as quickly. In Bay County, Dana Arquilla, News Channel 7.
We also contacted Jimmy Petronas about the negative ad against him. He declined to comment and said he personally does not plan to file an election complaint about the barely visible disclaimer on the Skinner mail-out. We have